Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
It's the podcast where two of the hosts can actually talk and one can grumble. It's Robbie Copeland's Guys of a Certain Age with like 60% of a voice, joined with, alongside, Art Shirley.
Am I the grumbler? Jay Reed.
No, I thought I was the grumbler. So.
Oh, okay.
You are. Yeah, because I kind of feel
Are you
like
sick?
You know, yeah, I had a cold something. I feel tremendously. I've been shooting for 3 hours, so I think I sweated it off at the steel plant.
I was shooting, not shooting up, so.
Yeah. Might have been better if I was shooting up, so. But anyway, yeah, back here, back in studio. Art's feverishly trying to find a geek. Jay, do you have a geek?
I've got a geek. I've got the geek of all times.
You got the geek of all time.
You go first, Jay.
You have the Thanos.
Really?
You have the Thanos of geeks. The Thanoses of geeks. Thani of geeks.
Yeah. He snaps. Am I going to disappear?
Yeah. Well, if it hasn't happened by now, it's probably not going to. So anyway, Jay.
Wow, this is a moment.
Let's take a moment.
Oh, wait, I got mine. No.
Yeah, I knew if I delayed long enough, Art would be ready.
Yeah. Jay, what is your geek of the week?
I found myself down a very interesting rabbit hole on YouTube this morning and just came across my path rather randomly. And I don't know if y'all seen the air safety videos from New Zealand Air.
No.
Are you familiar with this at all?
I'm not.
Absolutely not.
There is a reason why I thought you might have come across it. So this was just
actually, I think I have some.
Wait,
go ahead.
Xena in it?
I don't know. There might be.
Celebrities in it?
Celebrities for sure.
Okay.
So the first one I saw was, a couple of obvious Hobbit fans, Lord of the Rings fans, scrambling to get on an airplane. And they get on the plane and they look over and Elijah Wood's sitting there right next to him. And then the video starts and it's like an elven person speaking to them. Anyway, they go through this whole thing. They're transported into the Shire and all these people pop up. Y'all would probably recognize, I think there's some more celebrities than I even knew.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson was a director, right? He was in it for sure. But the whole safety video takes place in the Shire. And there's still a seatbelt. There's still an oxygen mask.
Yeah.
All the things that have to be there are there. But it's just hilarious. And you got this couple kind of, guiding us through it. Well, I thought, this is new to me, but chances are it's not new.
I think it's been around for a little while.
Like 10 years. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went to YouTube and searched it, and the one that I watched was about 10 years old. But then you start seeing, there's more.
Yeah.
So there was another completely different Hobbit-focused video on, it was like maybe 12 years before or something like that. So about a decade ago. But then there's like playlists of different air safety videos of all different genres and not all Hobbit related.
Okay.
So one of them was a super tall basketball player, maybe Steve Adams. I don't know who that is, but I think obviously he must be a New Zealander. And he did the same kind of thing. But the favorite one that I found, and I think there's probably way, way, way more. But there was one done by Betty White.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Where she's in the old folks home, and one of the other character that you would know then is Gavin McLeod. So it's Captain McLeod.
Wow. Okay.
From the Love Boat. But they're hilarious, especially Betty White, because there's lots of little, at one point she says, there's no smoking or any other kind of hanky-panky that would create heat. And you see these, it looks like a room in a home where these people are crossing the hall, sneaking into.
Oh, that's funny. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, so
I have seen one of the Hobbit ones, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I need to go back and look at see what the rest of them are. But I just thought how creative that is. I mean, and now I know all the rules because I watched 4 different safety videos this morning.
So are the rules different in New Zealand than in America?
They don't seem to be.
Yeah.
No, pretty much the same rules. But there was an emphasis on if there is, if there's like an impending crash, they tell you how to sit. And so and it's basically you put your head up against the seat in front of you and put your arms to the side of your head, or if you can't, then you lean all the way over and put your elbows
Kiss
on
your
your
butt
knees.
goodbye.
Right. But in the old folks home, they're all on a golf cart doing it, and and everybody has a different sort of setting on the different videos of where all this is happening, and one is a seatbelt, and the guy's sitting on a horse, but he's putting the seatbelt on just like you normally would. And then one of the Hobbit ones, there's a guy who's got like the wind blows his hair throughout, and it's really funny. And I think Peter Jackson's in at least two of them.
Okay.
Both the ones I saw from that genre were he was in, and like when he puts a ring on and disappears. So
Really? Yeah. That's pretty funny.
So anyway,
check that out.
Yeah. So I think it seems to be some mildly funny and clean entertainment if you're tired of the usual.
That was a
hole.
deep rabbit hole for you, wasn't it?
It really was. I didn't expect. Well,
I'm glad you were able to make it to the show.
Yeah, no kidding.
Thanks, Alice. So, yeah, do you find yourself going down YouTube rabbit holes like that fairly often?
I don't get on YouTube as much. More Instagram Reels for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true. Okay, yeah. So Instagram Reels are probably what, I'll sit there and look, here's how to do some kind of joint here, whatever woodworking kind of stuff. Like I'm ever going to do that, oh, that's pretty cool. I can do that, but I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm watching cooking.
But I will, if I get on YouTube, and a lot of times I'll watch it through Apple TV as opposed to, the phone or whatever. But yeah, I'll start watching a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, if I get on there, it's the same, Instagram's where I go mostly, but if I get on YouTube and start watching,
it could be any kind of topic, it's like,
You see, I don't find myself doing either of those.
Really? Okay.
At all.
count it a blessing.
Yeah, I'll scroll Facebook and Twitter, and I'll look at Reels on Facebook, but I do not go beyond. I mean, there'll be a couple of 3 queued up, as you scroll up, and I mean, that's about it.
Yeah. What's it like to have discipline?
Oh, I didn't say I was disciplined. It's just I've never really gotten deep into Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram doesn't tick any boxes for me. I understand it's an incredibly powerful platform. We use it with restaurants, but I've just never been much on Instagram, and I don't post much on Facebook either. I use them more as business adjacent than anything else.
Yeah, I don't post as much on Facebook nearly as much as I used to, or Instagram, either one. But a lot of times I like Instagram, and I follow a bunch of artists, and so I'll go there and see what their latest work is, and a lot of times they have things where they're either inking or drawing something, and I'll stop and watch that. And if it's somebody new, I may follow them or go to their page and watch several of their reels.
Have either one of you moved or set up a profile at Blue Sky?
No, I actually just did Threads for the first time this week.
Yeah.
So, and I saw right after I did that, the day after I did it, maybe, I saw that Blue Sky was starting to be a thing for people that are leaving Twitter or X.
Yeah. Seems to be a pretty large migration away from Twitter.
I haven't deleted my X account yet, and don't know that I will. But that's one that I only get on to kind of follow either sports or news stuff.
Yeah, I got on it some during the election, but before that, I wasn't on it hardly at all.
A lot of times I'll follow.
And it was only because I was looking for one account. It's because of things like the election that I basically stay off Twitter.
Well, I've kind of culled my follows to professional in sports on Twitter, and I didn't have much election bleed in, which is great. Yeah. And I've gotten to a point where if you're far left or far right, I'm going to snooze you on Facebook.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm tired of some of my friends gloating and some of my friends moaning. And it's like the sun came up and it will come up tomorrow. So anyway.
The sun will come up.
See, he does like music. He just doesn't know it.
Okay.
That was Annie.
Yeah.
Y'all probably forgotten
I thought that was
I
you.
haven't gone yet.
Okay. Do you have a Geek of the Week, Art?
I actually have 2.
Okay.
One's an obituary. One is a
liveawary.
Yeah, liveawary.
I think I just made up a word.
Liveawary.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did.
Actually, I don't know if I'll do the obituary or not.
Come on.
Oh, now you got our hopes up.
The Candyman, Tony Todd. Did y'all see that he passed away?
I saw he passed, but I couldn't place him.
He was also in Final Destination. There's a picture of him and the guy that played Freddy Krueger and Jason and Michael Myers all together. They're kind of the renaissance of horror villains there for a while.
That was your nightmares in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was kind of, and he was I think just a couple of years older than I am, but He was the Candyman. But he was one of those people that, again, just in a lot of stuff. It made me wonder what his index would be, because he played in a lot of different things. Anyway, I'm sorry to hear that he had passed away. The other, my actual geek, is Superman and Lois, which we've talked about, and I know y'all don't watch.
That was a little guilt
no. It's not. I mean,
no, you don't.
Well,
watch.
I mean, the CW. We've talked about this before. Of course, this is no longer. It was created in the Arrowverse. It kind of seems to be Arrowverse adjacent because it's not supposed to be in the same universe as the Arrowverse anymore. But follows Superman and Lois and their 2 teenage sons as they've moved back to Smallville. This is the 4th and final season, and they're going to just do 10 episodes. They've done 7 so far, and they brought in a Lex Luthor character who's been in jail for 17 years. And so the story, because it takes place in an alternate universe, they're able to do things that are different. Well, in this
a lot like Smallville.
Yeah, and I kind of binge watched it because I had not watched it at all until maybe a week ago, and watched most of the episodes, and then have been catching up, since then, watching them as they come out. And the one that just released, Superman finally decided, after people had kind of they recreated the Doomsday story.
Yeah,
where
I saw that
Doomsday kills Superman, so that happened.
The death of Superman.
The death of Superman. Yeah, they played a lot of different things differently in their story, in their telling of the story. Also, the cast has not been able to come back completely, so you'll see certain people that were certain characters that were in every episode before may have like a 2-episode story arc, and then they're kind of done, to kind of give them a chance to say goodbye. And I was afraid, I hate to hear that, but it really kind of has cut down on some of the soap opera-ish things that can go on. There's still some of that, but it's not nearly as heavy as it was before, and they're focused a little bit more on the story. So now he's died and come back to life, but enough people kind of are putting the pieces together to figure out who he is. So he decided that he would let the world know that Superman and Clark Kent were the same person.
Ah, yeah, really?
Shades of Iron Man. I think that. So it's interesting though, because we really haven't seen that with the Superman character.
No.
One of the first that had a secret identity back in '38. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this and what they do with it. But like I said, I watched the show, and at first I thought, it's just so dark, I'm not going to like this season at all. But it really it continues to be probably my favorite of the series, and I liked at least the first 3 seasons of most of them.
Yeah,
but it's really, really good. And again, I've said that this Superman, this Lois, are probably my favorite since the Christopher Reeve.
Really? Tyler Hoeckel?
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name. And Elizabeth Tulloch.
Yeah.
And I probably got her name wrong, too. But, yeah, he's great. Hecklin? I think it's Hocklin.
Hecklin.
So Hockenlock.
Yeah, that's down south of Macon on the way to Meridian. Yeah, that was Sugarlock.
Yeah, but anyway, yes, it's been good. So I'm glad they're getting a chance to go out well.
How's the black suit look?
We haven't seen the black suit yet. He didn't come back in the black suit.
Okay, I thought he was coming in. I thought
they talked about him being in a black suit. They also talked about him showing up in something that was more reminiscent of the traditional Superman, the classic Superman. Now, he did wear, like, early, you'll see flashbacks of when he first started as Superman, and he has a suit that looks a lot like the Max Fleischer cartoons, with the black field, with the black field behind the S. Yeah, it's great. And but this one still looks more like the Henry Cavill, the Zack Snyder universe suit. So I don't know if he'll change. Also, both boys now have superpowers. And so, kind of wonder if at the end we're going to have like a super family kind of deal.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll bring Krypto back.
In the beginning of that series, only one of them did, right? Because I watched a few episodes in the beginning.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what we thought.
No, that's exactly right.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, you can tell that they're rushing through some things because they have a 10-episode season. Mm-hmm. And so all of a sudden the second boy got his powers. But whereas the first guy, Jordan, took forever to get each of the powers to develop and him to learn how to use them, whatever. Jonathan's like, it happens in an episode. So
boom.
Okay, boom. Yeah. Now we've got both powers. So it's good.
Fun.
Puberty looks different for superheroes, huh?
Yeah,
I guess it does. Now, Jay, I know you're a big fan of the Penguin series on Max.
Finished it last night.
Have you seen it yet?
Is that the final episode?
Yeah, it was the final episode, yeah.
I haven't watched it at all, and I think I keep telling Becky I think she would like it. I mean, it sounds like to me it's not so much a superhero movie.
It
Right?
is
no.
It's,
comic
I'm in
book movie.
episode 5.
Oh, you
right
watching
now.
it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically Sopranos set in Gotham.
That's that's kind of maybe I've heard that from y'all, but that's what I've heard. That's the description I've heard. Yeah.
Colin,
And Melissa liked it. She didn't like if she fell asleep 45 minutes in, she wouldn't go back and watch it, but she watched it with me.
yeah. Well, we may try to watch that.
Colin Farrell is unbelievable.
Yeah, and
It-
unrecognizable. I mean, it's just
unrecognizable,
crazy.
unbelievable.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The lady who plays Carmine Falcone is she's great.
I've heard
too.
she's
No,
really good.
Sophia.
Carmine
Is
is
his
the
father.
dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's brilliant. She's really
That
good.
third, she kind of steals the whole thing. Yeah.
It should garner some Golden Globe and Emmy buzz.
And I hear that Colin Farrell's already said that he's going to be in the Batman 2, at least have some scenes in the Batman 2 movie that's coming out.
I don't know. Don't spoil it because I'll
He's
get
dead?
to.
Y'all saying he's dead? He may be flashback scenes.
I tell you what, it's
I ain't saying.
it is incredible how they've taken the character of the Penguin.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of Tony Soprano. I can't talk quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I'm through episode 4. I think it's 8 episodes, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure, but when I watched the last one last night, it was clear that it was
And then there's a Christmas
closing.
special.
That's Doctor Who.
Oh, that's what it is.
But there's no mention of the Batman at all.
Wow.
Have you watched any, Jay? Have you watched any of the behind the episode?
a few.
Yeah. So Matt Reeves will pop in from time to time in the behind the episodes to talk about what's going on.
Now, is this his thing? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, so he's actually producing.
He's
directing
executive
this.
producer of
Executive
this.
producing, but there are
Yeah.
individual directors or different directors for episodes. Is that how they do it?
That I don't know.
I think like the first 3 was one director.
Okay. Kind of like the Mandalorian and stuff did.
Yeah.
So he's Favreau and Filoni in this. I
Yeah,
guess.
except there's a female showrunner. I cannot remember her name, but she's done an incredible job.
Okay.
And she's written most of them.
Oh, okay.
And it takes place immediately after the Batman.
Awesome.
I mean, like callbacks to like the seawall coming down
Oh yeah,
and the impact it has.
that's a big part of the story.
But they never mentioned the Batman. Or do they?
I ain't saying.
Yeah,
They
please
ain't
don't.
saying.
So,
They ain't saying.
Silo is also back.
Has it started yet?
Started last night. I watched
Oh my gosh!
watched the first 2/3 of the entry episode. The first.
I gotta get Apple TV back.
Yeah, you do. You do. You need to watch Disclaimer as well. You need to watch Disclaimer and tell me what you think about it. It's,
Well, that's like I said, I was waiting for Silo to come out, and then we'll get it because I want to watch Disclaimer, Silo, and I guess that's going to be a weekly release, right? Or is it every episode, all episodes?
yeah.
And then Severance is going to
come back
that's
in
back too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Jay, have
January. Is that when
you,
Severance
January or
comes back?
February? Yeah. Jay, did you watch Silo?
No, I'm not. I want to. It's on my list, but no, not yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty awesome, and they're fairly faithful to the books. So, but none of that is my geek. So my geek's gonna be really quick to go along with my voice. So we've talked about Phoebe Waller-Bridges is bringing Tomb Raider to Amazon Prime. I think we talked about that. That was a geek a while back. They've been looking for their Tomb Raider for Lara Croft. They have cast.
That was what I started to do.
They have cast Sophie Turner from Game of Thrones as Lara Croft,
Yeah.
Tomb Raider, which should be quite interesting
Yeah.
to see. From a
She's kind of a redhead, right?
Yeah, there's this stuff called hair dye,
Right. I
and
mean,
wigs.
currently in her natural state,
Yeah.
she's. I'm just trying
Well,
to
she's
picture
been a
which-
blonde for a while lately,
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to picture who it is.
Well, she was Sansa Stark on Game of Thrones.
Uh-huh.
And
she was married to or in a relationship with one of the Jonas brothers for a while, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I don't think they're still together.
So,
She also was Jean Grey in one of the X-Men movies.
oh, she was. She was
Yeah.
the last, the first, not first class, but the after Apocalypse, whatever that last X-Men was. She was Jean Grey.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah.
know who she is, yeah.
X-Men Summer School. The hijinks of the X-Men.
The hijinks of the-
Professor X is pulling his hair out.
Delayed reaction.
It's the X-Men. I'll stop.
Wow. Okay. Have either one of you watched Deadpool Wolverine again?
I have not. I saw it came out.
It dropped Wednesday.
You know, I'm wondering about watching that with Becky. I think she would think it was hilarious.
I'm just going to say I've had earbuds in the entire time. I've been homesick the past day and a half, so I've caught up on some stuff. And
you've had it in while you've been watching it again.
Yeah.
Good idea. Smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How did it hold up for you?
Fairly well. Pretty funny, and the whole montage at the end where they say their goodbyes to the Fox first was really, really touching.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah. I mean, yeah.
Probably not going to break it out for the Christmas crowd.
I
right?
would not. But but Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, saying to Wolverine, Disney's got their hooks in you. You're going to be doing this till you're 90.
Yeah,
It's like.
No, I haven't watched that again yet.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. So.
And I haven't watched Agatha All Along. Have you watched that?
No.
Yet?
Oh man,
they're doing a special. That really is that a Christmas special?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
I would highly recommend Agatha All Along.
Okay.
And Diplomat season 2 is dropped.
Yeah, that's going to be my next.
We started that.
I've already seen it.
I think we already forgot about watching it.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, we need to pick that back up.
They dropped the whole thing?
Yeah, it's
I know we were
Netflix.
sitting there wondering what we should watch last night.
Kerry Russell, Rufus Sewell.
We need to have a list, actually handwritten
Or
list.
just
somewhere.
text me.
Yeah.
You know?
What are we supposed to be watching?
What did I say I was going to watch?
Yeah.
Diplomat season 2. It's only 6 episodes. Allison Janney pops in at the end.
Yeah.
Which is great. Christopher Kahn, who's the creative and showrunner on it, was a writer on The West Wing.
Yeah.
So there's some West Wing tie-ins.
It's only
as well.
6 episodes. I think we watched 2. So
Really?
yeah, we could probably
Okay.
knock that out.
Yeah.
No football really this weekend for most of
anybody.
us.
True.
Yeah. So.
We're putting up Christmas this weekend.
I think we're going to start on that.
Yeah, you have fun with that. So.
Yeah, it's earlier than I like to do it, but I've been told that
We have
for some reason we've got to do it.
Melissa's mother in town, so we have help. So we're going to do it while we have help.
It's shake and bake, and I helped. So.
Do we have time for the rest of the show?
Yeah, we do. We're going to take a break. We're going to catch up on some regrettable, not necessarily show hosts, but heroes.
Hey.
And we're back. Jay's going to take us home the rest of the way. I'm taking a nap while he catches us up with some regrettable heroes. Some of them are a little inappropriate. They're a little body shaming. I was a little offended earlier today.
Well, they did sound that way, but they're actually not.
Well, have you got your book open?
My book is open.
The book is open. It is time for Jay's Regrettable Segment. Yes, Jay's Regrettable Segment. Today brought to you by Heinz. When it's time for or to catch up, look at Heinz, the art of the burger. Yes, here's Jay now with Jay's Regrettable Segment. Coming to you from... No.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
And now we all cough and...
Yeah. Okay.
He's trying to muster up the courage. But let us get into it.
Oh, boy. Okay.
That was Bunny.
Cheesy. So the first one,
I'm dying.
I feel like, and Robbie took this the wrong way when I texted y'all earlier, but I think this is the character that I identify with the most of all the ones we've done.
He called me fat.
His name is Fatman, the human flying saucer.
The human flying saucer. That's hilarious.
Yep, it's a little weird, but the history here, and y'all will know more about these names, but the creators are C.C. Beck and Otto Binder.
Both of those folks. C.C. Beck's the guy behind Shazam or Captain Marvel, as we know.
That's what the story was. They were
Uh-huh.
involved in the original Captain Marvel, and then when the lawsuit between Fawcett and what became DC
National
something.
Periodicals,
and DC won, so they were basically out of a job.
Right.
So later on, they got back together and came up with the name of the publisher was Lightning Comics, which didn't last very long.
All right.
Apparently.
And Otto Binder, I think, did a lot of weird. He may have done Plastic Man. I'm not sure what else.
Well, he
did.
comes up later in our story. In a later regrettable.
Sorry.
Yeah, he stays active.
I regret my speaking.
So they came up with Lightning Comics, Fatman the Flying Saucer, and the story is the guy's name is missing from my notes. Van Crawford, plump but athletic Van Crawford.
That's where you got
Yeah,
that. Okay.
right. So he he was just hanging around doing his workout, and a spaceship crashed nearby him. And he went to see if he could help, and it turned out to be, it was a spaceship, but it was actually a shape-changing alien who had changed into a spaceship. So in return for the good deed that Van did, he gave him the same power to transform himself into a UFO.
Okay.
So on the comic cover, it says the only superhero or the only comic hero with 3 identities. So he's Van Crawford, he's the Fatman, he's also the flying saucer. So he can transform himself.
Okay.
He's a living flying saucer.
When did this come out?
This would be 1967.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Because sounds a little bit like the Green Lantern retcon of his origin that came out in the 60s as well. Yeah.
Well, as far as the uniform, you can't see, but Art can see the kind of Captain Marvel-ish, but green, sort of the same kind of cape and I guess collar as some of the Captain Marvel.
He's definitely one of the heroes that needs spandex.
Right. So some of his foes are the Brain Man from Mars, the underground gnome Grollo, Syntho, the Patchwork Man, and the lovely but evil Lunita, the Moon Witch. So his sidekick was a guy named Tin Man, a skinny teenager who some chemical concoction basically turned his body into a robot. So Fat Man and the Tin Man, but and then that's pretty much it. There wasn't much.
What about Jake?
And the Fat Man?
And the Fat Man? He was not mentioned. But I know who you're talking about. Todd Holton's Super Green Beret was the only other character in this comic line.
Okay.
And then it folded pretty quickly. They promised one other character to come, but it never came, by the name of Captain Shazam.
Really?
Yes. So
interesting.
Lots of overlap with their previous, Marvel
and
Captain
Lightning,
Marvel days, all that kind of stuff.
So that was actually the name of the comic book company, Lightning.
Lightning, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't even connect that. That's right, yeah. So not a lot of stuff going on here. I don't know. I look at him and I think, okay, this is a nice guy, but I don't see it as a redeemable.
See, I don't
character.
know, because I think you could do it as a comedy thing. Maybe you have Jack Black play the hero.
Okay.
Oh, that would be brilliant.
Yeah, so and you've got some tall, skinny actor to play the other part.
Tin Man.
The guy that he's a British guy and very tall guy, and he produces stuff with John Krasinski and Emily Blunt sometime. He's a comedian. I think he was maybe part of the original Office. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Anyway, can't remember his name. Doesn't matter.
Well, I can see that. Of course,
Glasses.
the flying saucer in the picture here is very traditional. If he transformed it into something a little bit more modern, maybe.
Yeah.
So, regrettable or not?
I'm going to say, what are our choices? Regrettable, redeemable? Or is there? I'm going to say redeemable.
Or what? Was Redeemable the middle? Regrettable,
I
not
thought
regrettable?
redeemable was the middle.
Okay.
Regrettable. I can't remember what we said the other one was.
Let's say that. Let's say that's it.
Okay.
Regrettable,
I'll say
redeemable, not regrettable. Okay. I would concur.
Okay.
Redeemable. Okay.
I thought you just said it was regrettable.
I couldn't figure out how to make it work, but when he said Jack Black, it all changed in my head. We've got it cast now, so it's done. Mm-hmm. Just like all the other cast announcements that we that are rumored. Okay.
All right.
So the next one is Gunmaster.
Gunmaster.
I found this one fascinating, dude. This is created by Dick Giordano.
Did Suzanne Summers hawk that back in the 80s and 90s? Oh, that was Ab Masters. What that
Thigh
was?
Master.
Thigh
Master.
She usually she had one for her arms called Gunmaster.
Boom, boom.
Smart Alarm Show.
Summer's out, guns out.
Thought it was sun out, guns out.
It is, but Suzanne Summers.
Oh, well done. I wish we were quick enough to catch up with
Yeah,
her.
that's right.
Or paying attention.
I tried. Yeah, there you go.
A little seasonal humor.
Let me change my headphones off of Wolverine.
He's watching Air New Zealand safety videos while we're talking. Oh, he's buckling his seatbelt. Okay, so this was in Six Gun Comics in about 1960, or Six Gun Heroes number 59. The Gunmaster, Clay Boone was I guess his name, and the picture kind of has some Lone Ranger-esque vibes to it. The interesting thing about Gunmaster is he was actually a pacifist, hated guns, hated violence. he was in love with this girl, and she wouldn't hang with him because he was such a coward. She's like, couldn't you be more like Gunmaster? And,
was he the coward of the county?
Yeah, well,
Everyone considered him so.
yeah. I'm gonna start singing in a minute.
Did he lock the door? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So what he did, his sort of mindset was, I don't like guns, I don't like shooting, but if the bad guys are going to have them, I'm going to have better ones. And the bad guys are going to shoot well, I'm going to shoot better. So he had like all these trick guns with gas and flares and things, and then he had he was a good trick shooter. So basically the guns were his last resort, theoretically, but he did
and kind of a Green Arrow with guns instead of
maybe so. Yeah. And his sidekick was Bullet the Gun Boy, whose civilian name was Bob Telub. Now, if you spell
that backwards,
it's Bullet. It's Bullet. Yes, that's not very creative.
Man,
Bob works both ways, though.
Yeah, Bob.
What's your name, Bob? Starts with a B, ends with a B.
Got to be go in the middle.
Hello, Bob.
It's also the best drink at Dolce.
Hey, Bob. Yep.
Hey, Bob.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Bob.
When does that come back?
I don't know. I won't. I'll have to have a lapse in Apple TV between that because it's going to be a while, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We'll probably
what we're talking about?
Oh, yeah. I'm the one that said it.
Yeah. That was his reference.
Oh, you were talking.
Yes. Yeah, remember you didn't feel like talking today. Remember you were gonna,
and
that's what was the
nature of
I was led to believe.
Yeah, nature abhors
a vacuum.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I'm trying to say. Not abhors.
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 Spelled like abhors.
Nature is a whore with a vacuum. Is that what you said?
That's not what I said. That's what she said.
Sorry, Mrs. Reed. Oh, Jay laugh warning. Jay laugh warning. We're about to lose him.
Okay, back to the Wild West.
Gunmaster.
So, Gunmaster and Bullet the Gun Boy against the Wild Apache Warrior Hawk. So, not exactly politically correct.
Yeah.
Also fought the corpulent
criminal
genius
athletic
known as Brains. Yes. And the hypnotic menace called the Barker. And I can kind of see the Barker. You know,
his first name is Bob.
Bob the Barker.
Bob the Bullet Boy and Bob the Barker. Traveling carnival, Wild West. You know, somebody who's hypnotizing people.
Wild West.
Yeah. So they didn't. He didn't last very long. Maybe a couple dozen appearances. Yeah. So. It's almost too much.
I'm gonna say regrettable.
Like Lone Ranger.
I think
really,
it bars from too much. There's and westerns being, thanks to, as we've just seen with Kevin Costner's Horizon, not being as popular as
Yellowstone back out this week too.
That's true.
Yeah. Alrighty, so next is Jigsaw.
Oh,
have you heard of
the
Jigsaw?
guy that chains people up in the basement and had them cut their arms and stuff off?
No, but it's puzzling.
Oh, nice.
It is.
Pun
but
master.
You're going to pick up all the pieces for us, right?
I'm going to put it all together right now.
How many pieces is it?
It's hard to tell. It is hard to tell. This is created by Joe Simon, Bill Draught, and Otto Binder.
Okay. And Joe Simon, one of the original folks that did Captain America.
Okay. So they keep coming back together.
Yeah.
So this guy was an astronaut. They called him the man of 1,000 parts once he became Jigsaw, but began his career in outer space, and this is what I think is great. His name is Colonel Gary Jason. He was an astronaut with Earth Space Force. So this was 1966.
Yeah.
The first time Space Force was mentioned, maybe. He piloted a vessel called the Stargazer 1. It got caught up in a magnetic cone.
What year was this?
66.
I think we've heard Stargazer before, haven't we?
That was Picard's first command.
It sure was, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, lots of borrowing here.
Wow.
This would be borrowed from.
Huh? What'd you say?
Engage Jigsaw. Sorry. I turned into Sean Connery.
Yes, that's it. What are you talking,
Picard.
Jay? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't remember. All right, so he's in space on Stargazer 1, and there's a magnetic cone that's stealing rocks, trees, and animals from Siberia and dropping them on the moon.
What? Okay.
Yeah, just very logical. So he gets caught up in that. He's battered and bruised. The aliens who are doing the borrowing of the rocks and the trees and the birds and the bees feel bad for him and put him back together. So he's kind of bionic man in a sense, but they've given him these synthetic tendons, essentially, and a bunch of colorful plates that look like a jigsaw puzzle. So his body looks like a colorful jigsaw puzzle. And basically, he's Mr. Fantastic in the sense that he can stretch and telescope his arms. The creepy part...
Or Plastic Man.
Okay, so the creepy part is I'm assuming, I don't know as much about Plastic Man, but I know with Mr. Fantastic, when he stretches, it remains one piece.
Yes, his does not.
Jigsaw Man stretches, and the pieces, the colorful puzzle pieces, stay the same size, and so they're separated, and all you see is the tendons that are holding it together. So it's apparently kind of creepy.
Regrettable.
Yeah, for sure. So let's see if there's anything interesting here. Space Force, kind of disowns him, and he fights, Cold War battles in the
what year?
And then he competes in the Interplanetary Olympics.
67? 66. Okay.
Yeah. So definitely regrettable, I
think so. We had one redeemable, two regrettables.
Well, let's see. We got time for one more, or should we save it?
Oh, we should save it because we're like at 35 minutes of babbling.
All right. Well, the next one,
if we ever do it.
The next one has got a lot of interesting Marvel, Captain Marvel history to go with it too. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned for
Jay's regrettable segment. Yes, we know even more than ever that it's truly regrettable. Kind of wondering why we suggested.
Because we had nothing else in the...
Yeah. No, thank you, Jay. Those were interesting.
I think they're kind of fun.
Yeah.
Jigsaw was a little bit of a disappointment, but...
The Lightning Comics guy. Who was that again? Fatman.
Fatman.
Yeah.
You just want to hear her say Fatman.
Yeah, that was an interesting character.
Fatman.
All right. On that note, we will see you next time around.